lovers will marry our fortunes together. I've got some real estate here, my babe. So we bought a pack of cigarettes and Mrs. Wagner pies and walked off to look for America.
God, can't sing this at all. Then I love this Mike's music method. Come on in, everybody. All my favorite finger pickers are here. Guys, I'm excited to bring you America by Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. This song was requested by Hanna P over in Berlin. Hanna P. Thank you so much. And dude, it was a steal with this one. Guys, you can sponsor a song. She literally got this song done for $25. That's a ridiculous deal. Do you know how long it takes me to learn these songs and record them and tab them out? 25 working for like $1 an hour pretty much. No, but go to mikesmusicmethod.com. There's a sponsoring a song tab, and you guys can sponsor a song. And I can't promise to get to it. Just read the thing over there. I'm not going to tell you all about it, but it's a way for me to know what you guys want me to do. So Hanna P chipped in $25. And if it's a song I hate, there's no way I'm doing it for $25. But my point is, that's all she had to throw in. And I went, you know what? I am overdue for a Simon and Garfunkel song. And boom, she got her song done. Amazing. $25. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is that we're going to learn a song today. It's called America. It's by Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel. And you're going to learn it in this video. I'm going to take you through the whole thing. Timestamps down below are your best friends because I can be ridiculously rambly. And don't get annoyed with me, okay? The timestamps are down below. If you're a really good player, you're going to want to jump ahead. If you're not a good player, then go slow, go through all the parts. If you're a very good player, then jump way to the end of this video and watch the slow run-throughs. But for anyone who isn't an advanced player, watch all this. You want to learn it the correct way. You'll learn some technique things along the way. And, I treat this like a guitar lesson, as if you were my student paying for a private lesson. So welcome. I'm going to walk you through this. Let's do it. Paul Simon's America. Capo's on the 2nd fret. Standard tuning. Here we go. Thank you, Hanna. Everyone, comment below and thank Hanna for the contribution to get this song over to you. Let's do it. Before we start diving in, you can either use a flat pick to play this stuff, or you can use your hands. I use my hands. I'm going to pick the lower notes with my thumb and then strum the chord with my index finger. Down, down, up, down. If this is all new to you, I have a whole video series, which is flat picking tutorials. So there's probably quite a few songs in there where I go over this stuff, so I won't bore you and do that again here. But there are a whole bunch of different strumming techniques. I'm going to use my thumb for the picks. And when I go down, it's a nail of my index finger. And when I go up, I'm brushing with the pad of my index finger. Measure 1, we have a C chord, remember capo 2. Just playing a C chord, I'm picking the 5th string with my thumb. And then we have a down, up, down, up. Also note, the song is in 3/4 times, so it's 1, 2, and 3, and. So I'm just picking the 5th string, and then I'm doing a down, up on either the top 3 or the top 4. You don't have to be super picky, but do not strum that 5th string because you want it to be singing out. Boom. So that way you sound as 2 separate guitars. You're keeping that bass note ringing while you're strumming only the strings underneath it. Top 3, top 4, don't have to be super accurate there. Measure 2, we have a C chord, kind of with a B in the bass, but we also get rid of this 4th string. So I'm moving this finger here. My middle finger goes to the 2nd fret on the 5th string. So I've just got these 2 fingers down. That's on the 2nd fret, that's on the 1st still. And it's hard to tell if that's what's happening. I believe that's it. Sounds a little better than also keeping that 2nd finger down. So we've got down, up, down, up. Get rid of that 3rd finger, put my middle finger on the 2nd fret. Then measure 3, we go to an A minor 7. So all I'm doing is moving that middle finger down to the 4th string. that one. Again, pick the 5th string, down, up, down, up. Then we go to a C chord with a G in the bass. So these two stay where they are on that A minor 7. And I'm reaching this ring finger to snag the 3rd fret on the lowest string. And here it's a little different because we got pick, down, up. So there I'm picking the 6th string with my thumb, down, up. And then I'm lifting that ring finger and playing that open. So let's run those first 4 together. 1, 2, 3. Nice, pretty sound so far. Remember, all the tabs are free to download at mikesmusicmethod.com. It's easier to follow along that way. I try to put them up here, but I can't always be exact on the changes, and it's just nice for you to have. Then we've got an F chord. I do the thumb over the top. Again, I have a video, bar chords are overrated, that damned F chord. A bunch of different ways to play it. You don't have to throw the thumb over the top, but you kind of do. I mean, you could do it that Leonard Cohen way that I discussed in the video. But in other words, we need this pinky free because we're going to be doing some sus chords. A sus 4 chord, I think. So we've got this F chord where I'm hitting the 6th string, and then down, up, down, up. I'll tell you really quick, you don't have to watch the video. Just think of your normal F chord like this. But what you're going to do is just lift that 1st finger up and bar the lowest string too. So that means if you strummed it, you'd have that 11 in there, right? Because I'm not fretting the 5th string, that should be a 3rd fret. But because we're doing a deliberate pick strum over that 5th string, you don't need to fret that 5th string. So we got that just simple F chord, but I'm barring like that, keeping my pinky free. So we go into measure 6, we are still on that F chord, and we just hit it 1 time, 2, 3, and then we got a hammer on. So we're just hitting the top strings on beat 1, holding beat 2, but still keep that right hand going, right, that fulcrum or that pendulum. Then 2, we're missing 2, so sorry, 1, miss 2, and then I hammer on the 3rd beat. And I'm hammering my pinky onto the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. So, sorry, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and it's hard not in context, so let's take it from 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 3, and, right? It's just the hammer, but the and beat is the hammer. One more time, 2, 3, pick, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, and then right in the measure 7, we do the opposite. We hit beat 1, but we're pulling off the pinky. So we had hammered. Now in this measure here, we're going to hit it and pull off. And then we do an upbeat here. So we have pull off, miss, up, down. So let's do the rhythm again. We've got pull off, miss, up, down. In other words, if you were counting it, it would be 1 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. And my right hand is down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down. And that first down has the pull off, right? Down, miss, up, down. And so I got the pull off, keep it up, and then my pinky goes back down for beat 3. I know you can do it, go slow. It's kind of hard for me to explain for some reason, but I don't want to over-explain it either. I think you guys get the idea. And then the next measure, 8, we're just hitting the chord again. 2, 3, and. So it's 1 down, down, hold it, 3, and that's all just a simple F. 1, 2, 3, and. So if we play that whole thing from measure 5, man, that tires out my hand on the classical. I usually do my thumb over the top. I'm trying it that way, and whew, it can be hard to grip it for that long. So for measure 5, let's put it all together. 1, 2, 3. And it's a bit slow, so that still might feel funny, but I really want to make sure you guys have that strum pattern down real solid. All right, we're going to run through the whole thing, that whole intro from the top. Good news is that it's a lot of repeats for the verse. And now at the end, if you guys were struggling with that last part, it's not super important because it changes throughout the song. So you feel free to do that hammer-on pull-off however you want. It doesn't have to be exact, right? He's just kind of noodling, giving some color to that F chord. But let's do it as written. Try your best to do that for now. 1, 2, 3. And then up to speed so you guys can actually hear it. 1, 2, 3. Something like that. I think I even did an extra upbeat at the end. So you get the idea. You want it to be kind of loose, free form. Those picks are louder than the strums. There we go. Donation pitch. Guys, if you're here this far in the video, you're clearly getting solid, good value from the channel, Mike's Music Method. So please consider support. All this content is free. I don't put any of these tutorials behind a paywall. I don't put the tabs behind a paywall. Understand the value in that, how much time I have to put in to keep it free. So to everyone who's donating already, thank you. And for you, those of you out there who are not, please consider monthly support. You can do it via PayPal, Patreon. You can write me a check at my P.O. box. You can Venmo me. It's the value for value model. Every time you guys pitch in, it keeps it free is what I'm saying. I want to keep this stuff free. So monthly support helps me to make more of them because you buy me more time. But also, when you pitch in, it keeps it free for someone else out there. So you're helping me give the world an awesome finger-picking education. So keep all that in mind, the value for value model. I'm worth at least a cup of joe every month, right? Come on, I got to at least bringing you that value. Think of like when you go to a restaurant, you tip the waiter, not to undermine what the waiter has done for you. You know, they brought out, I'm not saying it's an easy job, they bring out your food, but come on. You're tipping your waiter. Can't you tip Mike's Music Method? So that's another way to frame it. But I'm always long-winded. The value for value model. Guys, if you want this stuff to remain free, please support. Even if, a fifth of my subscribers were giving like $10 a month, that would be unbelievable. And I could do this full time. So it doesn't take a lot. So if you have the means, give some back. And if you don't, kind emails go a super long way too. Or a nice comment down below encouraging me, saying you're learning from the channel. That also goes a long way. All right, let's keep going with America. Thank you, Hanna. Boom. Now we start the verse, and it starts on that same C chord. This is all the same. Measure 9, 10, 11, still that A minor 7, 12. All the same. And then from 13 on, it's very similar to that first ending on that F, but he's doing quite a few different things with the sus. His rhythm's different. Don't beat yourself up on this part because, again, on the recording, there are multiple guitars. It's hard to tell exactly what he's doing. And as long as you're roughly noodling with that sus chord, it's going to sound fine. But here it is a little different. 13's the same. Is 14 the same? It's pick, 2, miss, and. So there's no hammer at the end there. And then in 15, we have a hammer on, miss, and down. So you get hammer on, miss, and then you do the up down, but it's back to the F chord. So 1, lift up the pinky, down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down, down, miss, up, down. And then 14, similar idea. Actually exactly the same on 14. So from 13, let's try that. 1, 2, 3. And I put a little accents in the tab. You want to hit some of these notes harder than others if you really want to get, more accurate to how Paul Simon is doing it. But for now, let's just play this thing and learn it. Whew. Measure 17, let's continue with the verse. We'll put some melody over it soon so you guys can kind of hear where we are at with the singing. But 17 just kind of repeats that opening sequence we've already seen twice. The C chord, put that B in the bass. Now here's where I got confused, because on this measure, I am hearing a regular A minor, and so I'm not sure if the intro was an A minor 7. Again, the strumming is so fast and there's a lot happening that it's pretty hard to tell. But here I'm hearing an entire A minor. It's like that. So 19 is pick, down, up, and then 20 is just down, miss, up, down, miss, up, down, miss, up, down, up. Then 21, this is why I heard it as an A minor. But it could just be because that fill, he's doing all the notes in A minor, and maybe that previous chord was an A minor 7. You be the judge. My ear is having trouble figuring it out for sure. But anyways, 21 is really cool, because we're on that A minor. We hammer on the 4th string, open to 2, then we hammer on the 3rd string, open to 2, then we just hit the 2nd string. And you don't have to hold them all down. You can do it like that. I don't know if it's legato or not. Whatever's easier for you. They both sound fine. And then 22, we kind of end that run. It's just a down, miss, up, down, up. So it's exactly the same as measure 20. And then we go into ending 1 and ending 3. Look like this. There's a different ending on the second time they run the verse. But the first time we run the verse, we go to an E minor chord in what measure here? 23. We're just picking the E minor. Right, 6th string, down, up, down, up. Then I'm doing the 5th, down, up, down, up. Oh, sorry, it's an E minor 7, so I just got that one finger down. Apologies. And then we go to an A7, pick the 5th string. And right, I got the G string open, just 2 and 2, regular A7. Then we got a cool little run here, 2 and 26. Hammering on the 3rd fret of the lowest string, then hammering on the 5th fret, then open on the 4th. Then back to an E minor in measure 27 here, E minor 7, open 6th string, 5th string. Now you'll notice, if you got a keen ear, that this isn't what's happening on the recording. It's just strumming, but there's other instruments and bass, and because you're playing this alone, you're going to want to give it more color, so I added this kind of bass strum thing. It just sounds like he's basically strumming them. But for solo, for the case of playing it solo, it sounds way cooler this way. 29, back to the A7, pick the 5th string, down, up, down, up. Then 30, we're going to pick the 4th string, down, up, down, up. Then we've got a D chord in measure 31 here. And the first hit, to give it some variety, it's bigger than just a pick, but it's not a full strum, so I'm just hitting like... maybe emphasizing the lowest ones. Maybe I'm getting a little bit of the 5th string. Again, doesn't matter too much, but I got like a 1, 2, and 3, and... It's more about just hitting that first beat louder. And then in 32, it's a C chord. I'm doing the same thing, giving more low end to that first hit, then just strumming the higher ones on that down, up, down, up. One more measure before we talk about the melody. We got 33. We go back to a cool little finger picking walk. So we've got, and if you're using a pick, you can hold the pick like this and then still use your middle finger to snag the higher notes. It's kind of like hybrid picking, made famous by Stairway to Heaven. I think Jimmy Page plays it with a pick in his middle finger. But here we got a G chord. I'm picking the 6th string and the 2nd. Then it's basically a simple A minor chord, but you only need that first finger on the 2nd string, and I'm just hitting the 5th and that 2nd together. So 6 and 2, 5 and 2. Then it's like a G chord with a B in the bass. I got my 2nd fret here and my 3rd fret on the 2nd string. And I'm pinching those. So... your free tab at mikesmusicmethod.com. Let's sing it from measure 9 with the lyrics. Now I'm just going to strum the chords. This is kind of what I typically do to just make sure I have the phrasing of the song. I do not know this song well at all, and I can't sing Paul Simon songs very well. So bear with me here, but I just want to give you the placement of all this here. So 1, 2, 3. Let us be lovers, and we'll marry our fortunes together. I've got some real estate here in my bed. So we bought a pack of cigarettes. If you can't do the hammer-ons, that's fine. And then a magnifies. I gotta scroll, apologies. It's from that A7. And then the D. And walked off to look for, and then back to the beginning. America. So you get the idea. I added a little bit of the pick strum, but for now, if you're literally just doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's fine. Practice however you need to kind of get the phrasing. And then once you can sing it with strumming, occasionally maybe you're adding the pick and you're sticking with just that concept. Right, I didn't add the extra little open. So just do what you can and build on that. That's my recommendation. Ooh. Then we've got a whole second verse that they run through, but instead of jumping to that E minor chord, they totally skip over that part. So instead of going to measure 23, we go all the way to, in the tab, measure 34, which is a G chord. And again, here I'm embellishing because, they're just kind of strumming it. There's bass, there's other instruments. But we're going to do a G chord, 6, down, up, 4th string, down, up. And that repeats, 6, 4. Then we go to a D chord in 38, 4, down, up. Right back to a G chord, to the D again, 4th string. Then in measure 41, we have a C chord, and I'm giving it some variety by doing 5th, 3rd, 5th, 3rd. And that's that whole, I don't know if you call it a chorus. This song has a very weird flow, but we had that whole second verse, and then it was from 34 is where he starts singing the Saginaw Island thing. So 1, 2, 3. Me 4 days to hitchhike from Saginaw. I've come to look for America. I'm singing like the harmony part but lower. I don't know what I'm doing. So we've got all that. But then it goes into like, I don't know if you call this a bridge, and this part's really goofy. So measure 45 is like a really cool chord change, the laughing on the bus part. It's a B flat major 7. So think of your B flat bar chord, or think of, I don't know if you guys know an A major 7, but here's your A, 2, 2, 2. You make it an A major 7 by making that middle 2 a 1. So from the ground up, we've got open 2, 1, 2. And that's an A major 7 voicing. Now to move it up, you got to pretend your first finger is the capo. So from the ground up, I have 1, which is played by that bar on the first finger, 1. Then my pinky's doing 3 on the second string. Then I've got 2 with my middle finger on the 3rd string. Then I've got 3 with my ring finger on the 4th string. 1, 3, 2, 3, 1. Really pretty. So I'm picking the 5th, then the 4th. Back to the C chord, 5th, 3rd. That does it again. So that was 8 measures right there, real easy, just 2 chords. Then measure 53, we go back to that B flat, but the rhythm's a bit different. I'm just doing pick, down, down, pick, down, down. She said whatever the lyrics are there. Then 57, we've got C again, 5, 3. Just how we did it before, 5, 3. And then we come out of this on the F chord. this part's cool. I almost forgot the chord. It's like an F major sharp 11. But in 61, we just got a basic F chord, and we're hitting the low ones. 1, miss, up, down, pick, miss, up, down, strum, miss, up, down, strum, miss, up, down. Then we go to this weird chord. You got the sharp 11. In other words, it's an F chord, but he's playing open and open on the top 2 strings. So you got an open E, which is the major 7, open B, which is that sharp 11, and then 2, 3, like an F chord. And it's a really dissonant sound. And the way I'm strumming that is down, up, miss, up, down, up, miss, up, down. 1 and 3, 1 and 3. All right, let's sing it from 45 so you guys have a placeholder here. We'll go slow. 1, 2, 3. Laughing on the bus, playing games with their faces. 53. She said the man with the gabardine suit was a spy. And then 61 is the F. I just botched it. Let's try that again. I said be careful, his bow tie is really a camera. I said be careful, his bow tie is really a camera. Then we go back to the C chord. So I think you guys got the phrasing. Again, I don't know this melody well. Sorry, I'm totally botching it. But so from 65, kind of a repeat, but it ends different. So we got the C, B in the bass, A minor 7. Then here in 68, he's just doing a G. They're not putting that low E in there. So it's just 6, down, up, because measure 69 is a different chord. We got an F sharp, a minor 7 flat 5, or an F sharp half diminished. This chord's really cool. I'm playing it like this. I got my middle finger on the 2nd fret. We're going to skip the 5th string. Then my ring finger's on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. So I got 2 and 2. Then my pinky's on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Then my first finger is on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. 2, nothing. 2, 2, 1. F sharp minor 7 flat 5. And we're going to pick that 6th string, down, up again, then to a regular F. So if you go from 65 one more time. Bow tie is really a camera. And what I'm doing from that G, now that I'm playing it, I'm keeping that first finger pinned down there, and I'm getting all those other ones on the 2. So from that C/G, my index finger remains planted, and I swing all those other ones around to the 2nd fret. So they got to do quite a dance, but spend some time doing that, because I imagine most folk players, you guys are not familiar with this minor 7 flat 5. Not many folkies use it, so hats off to you, Simon and Garfunkel. And it's pick, down, pick, then a regular F. And I'm just doing 6, down, up, 6, down, up. Pew! Guys, we are almost done. So we start this 3rd verse, toss me a cigarette, I think there's one in my raincoat. And that whole first verse is the exact same way we did the first one. So that 3rd verse is the same as the first, which means if you look at the tab, you play through it, and you do indeed play measure 23, because this is our 3rd ending. So you have that E minor 7 part to that A7 part. So I looked at the scenery. So I looked at the scenery. There we go. She read a magazine. So we got all that. Then the final verse, Kathy, I'm lost. We run the verse again, but when we get to measure 22, we jump all the way to the 4th ending, which is measure 73 for the 4th ending. And it's going to start the same as the last one did on the G chord. So 6 to 4 is our picking pattern. Counting the cars on the New Jersey Turnpike. And then 77 is the same, right? It's our chorus. They've all come DGD to look for America. And then it repeats that part, I think 2 more times. D, G, D, C. Then I love this outro, guys. This is my favorite part of the song. These guys are good songwriters. This is awesome. So we start with the same theme in measure 84, the C, descend it to the B, A minor 7, the C/G without the extra bass note. And then, check this out, this is great. In 88, we go to a D minor, and we kind of keep the line descending. And this part of the song fades out. So from 88, we go to a D minor, picking the 4th string, and just strumming the top 3. Then it's the same D minor chord, but we put a C in the bass. And I'm doing that with my ring finger. Then we go to a G chord with a B in the bass. I'm going to keep my pinky planted, or if you're, depending how you do that D minor chord, whatever finger you have on the 3rd fret there, whether that's your ring or pinky, it doesn't matter. But keep that finger there when you switch the chord to the G. Well, first it's the B in the bass. Right, so I just have 2 and 3. Then I hit the 6th string. So measure 90 there is hit the 5th string, which is the 2nd fret. I still got the 3rd fret down on the 2nd string. But I'm hitting the 6th string. So from the D minor in 88, 3. Sorry, it's in 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3. Then that whole thing would repeat from 84, and I just love it all together. It keeps going. Man, I don't, the ability to, when you're as good as Paul Simon, the guy probably has a zillion ideas all the time. And the fact when he came up with that and then somehow resisted the urge to like insert it everywhere in the song is amazing to me. Because that beautiful descending part is so awesome. I'm convinced that he like must have already written the song, which is great. And then he came out, he's like, I need a little ending. Maybe I can do something else. And then he came up with it. Because I bet if he came up with that part first, then the entire song would have been different. Because it's such a beautiful part that if he wrote it first, there's no way he could have resisted doing it every single time. But guys, that's it. That's the entire song. You did it. I apologize for playing it sloppy. It's one of these that I just tabbed out, and I just want to get it out there and deliver it to you, Hanna P, in Berlin, because you requested this song. So just excuse my terrible butchering of their gorgeous melody and focus on the guitar playing instead. Congratulations. You guys did it. We'll do some slow run-throughs, but I know you've got this one. You can do it. Boo! Slow run of the entire song. Let's do this from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Then he starts singing. Then we go back to the beginning. Am I too fast? Sorry. I always speed up. Then the second verse. we go to the second ending, which is going to be all the way measure 34. So 1, 2, 3. To the verse. So we skip the intro this time because that transition kind of acts as the intro, and we go back to the verse, which is measure 9. And then just so you know, we're going to jump, well, we're going to do the third ending. So let's go from measure 9. 1, 2, 3. Got a whole nother verse. Sus part there, but like I said in the intro, we're just aiming for the feel, not exact. Then we'll go to the E minor because it's the third verse, A7. You guys get the idea, I think. Following along with these tabs, huh? I don't have them all printed. You probably don't either, but this is why I recommend people print them out. Because when you get a song like this, you're jumping all over the place and it's really confusing. At least I can't fit the entire thing on my screen without like wearing binoculars. The point I'm trying to make is print them out. That was the third verse, which, you know, you do that E minor part and measure 23 and you go all the way to 33. And then you go back to the intro for the fourth verse. Right? So just like you did the first verse, third is identical. After 33, you go back to 1. And then when you do the fourth verse, you go all the way from 9 to 22 in the tab. We're looking at it together, right? And then instead of doing 23, you shoot yourself all the way to measure 73, which is why this is so confusing. But let's play it from 73. 1, 2, 3. That part, so back to 77. I think it's just twice, actually. And let's do the cool little coda. I love it. Back to that, whatever measure that is, 84. I'm rushing it again, aren't I? It wasn't that slow of a run through. One more time real slow from the end there. 1, 2, 3.